So we got to talk about my boy Eric Adams because he had a lot to say, and you know what? He came with some heat. And honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but if he showed even half of what he showed in this little interview, right, with the reporters, he might have had a fighting chance.
Listen, there was a book that came out that Jasmine Ray wrote, and in the Daily News today, it was stated that there was a sexual action that happened in Borough Hall to be put in that book, and it wasn't. You're a dog sick person, man. You know that? You're a dog sick person. Your name was on the byline. And there's some of you that have been covering me. You guys could part. Let me do this. Y'all could depart. Some of you have been covering me for 3.5 years. Some of you are so sick and dark, and you're the leader of that. You're one of the most dark writers that I've ever seen in this city. And your personal sick vendetta and the sickness of how you think of over-sexualizing a black man, that in the book is stated that there was a sexual action in Borough Hall. That was never in the book. But that's typical of the sickness and the darkness of your sick mind. You're one of the sickest reporters I know. Go to the next question. You're a sick person.
He told his people, he's like, yo, back up. I need some room. Give me some room. He's heated.
Actions with Tisha James getting indicted.
I'm going to do the same thing to her, what I ask of everyone. When I was going through my situation, let the process play out. People attacked me. They called me names. They destroyed an impeccable record in this city. Folks, I've been doing this for 40 years. I have 40 years of delivering for the people of the city of New York. And within months, my entire life was destroyed. And some of you who knew me joined the chorus of calling me all sorts of names. He made a deal. He did this. All of you that knew me, I was really surprised. And some of you broke my heart. I was surprised that y'all saw how impeccable my record was as a police officer, state senator, borough president, and as a mayor. And within months, because of a lawfare, you all of a sudden turned me into a criminal. You characterized my administration as corrupt. You didn't look at the dedication and commitment and the success of this city. And I noticed, you know what's interesting?
So before he continues cooking, right? I'm surprised that he's surprised that it flipped on him like that. In this politics game, my young age of 27, even I know there's no real friends, man. People will turn on you because this is when you deal with politics, that's money and power. Money and power. That's everything to some people. And if you threaten it or you put people in a compromising position or you expose weakness, that's it. You're done. To speak on, his administration specifically, I can't. But one thing I will say is that I wholeheartedly believe, and no one's going to change my mind about it, that there is corruption within these administrations. And when I say administrations, I mean all of the administrations that have gone through New York within the past 50 or so years. I don't think anyone that's held office, whether it's the mayor or governor, is squeaky clean. I don't. There's a lot of shit that goes on. New York is the money capital of the United States, possibly the world. You're telling me that there's been no type of fuckery going on, or there has been, and then with him it just stopped right there. I'm not going to speak on what they try to charge him with specifically because there's no evidence to support that. But do I think that there was some, strange things going on, everything like that? Funky money? Sure. I do. The extent? Not too sure, but that's what I think.
I'm seeing none of you report some of the stuff that is coming out of the FBI of what happened under the Biden administration. I'm not seeing you report that.
The reason Eric Adams found himself in this predicament, right? The reason why he's in this situation is because he dared to speak up during the migrant crisis against the Biden administration, right? And I'm happy he's doing this because you get a little bit of that heat, a little bit of that anger and frustration that was going on where he tried to visit and talk to the president, Biden at the time. He went to the White House. They didn't see him. Biden came to New York and didn't see the mayor. He saw the governor, Kathy Hochul, but he didn't see the mayor. That's why he ran as an independent, because the party turned against him. I've seen committees and hearings and everything like that where he's in front of Congress between being in front of Democrats and Republicans, and you see how the Democrats kind of just, they treat him differently. If he wanted to win and if he really wanted to start some shit, what I think he should have done, I think he should have came out the gate swinging. This whole campaign, he should have been dropping bombs about what's going on in the Biden administration. Because I know he knows at least a little bit about where the bodies are held. Go full nuclear. Scorched earth. Yeah, that's what he should have done.
I'm not seeing you report some of the hidden records and the hidden files. I'm not seeing that anymore. But what you did in those months, to me, I'll never forget that. It was wrong. I did not deserve that. And as a mayor and as a public servant, I committed myself to the city, and I'm going to continue to commit myself to the city in the process. What's up, Kelly?
Hi, Mr. Mayor.
What's going on, Kelly?
I'm good. I wanted to ask you to follow up. You know, speaking of your indictment, you talked about the Justice Department weaponizing that indictment, going after black politicians. I mean, this is another black politician being indicted here in the city. What's your response to that?
Do you feel they weaponized me? Of course. You can answer. You asked me about others, but I remember how you covered me. You didn't feel they weaponized me? I was indicted for calling the fire department to do a building inspection. And many of you who covered me during that time were salivating at the thought that Eric will go to jail for 33 years. So don't start asking me about what do I think about what's going on now. I want to know what did y'all think about when my life was destroyed in this city. And I wish I had a mic so I can drop it right now.
I may not be the biggest fan of him politically, but one thing I could confidently say is that if he came with this same heat, this same intensity, I think he would have got a whole lot further. The American people have shown time and time again with them liking Donald Trump, AOC, even though I don't agree with her, and some of them even gravitating to Jasmine Crockett, even though I feel like she's going about it in a not so good way. They gravitate towards these people in moments like this because it shows that you're being authentic. Now, I'm not saying that should forego all the things that you want to advocate for in your policies and everything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that this would have done him so much better if he came out with this from the jump. But he did it. Well, that's it, guys. You already know the drill. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment down below, tell me your thoughts. How do you feel about his outburst? How do you feel about him just lashing out like that? I mean, I liked it. I appreciate it. I wanted to hear more of what he had to say, especially pertaining to the whole Biden administration. And who knows, even what's going on with the Trump administration here, because no one's hands are clean. But let me know down in the comments below. That's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.